Hello and welcome. And I'm off to a good start with that brain fart. Hello and welcome to Doom 2016. My name is Robogun 10K, also known as Takeda 10K, depending on where you know me from. This is going to be my first proper Let's Play series. I already started a Doom Let's Play, but some stuff came up and I'm going to restart it from here. Um, I'm also going to do ultra violence difficulty as well to add a bit more challenge, since Hurt Me Plenty seemed to be a bit too easy. Add a bit more entertainment for you guys. Yeah, that's about it for this intro. Let's get to killing. Throughout this Let's Play, what I'm going to do is read as much of the codex entries as I can, just to add a bit more to this playthrough series than just, pure gameplay. My literacy skills aren't the best, so if I struggle with words or skip over them or mispronounce whatever, I do apologize for that. But I do want to provide the story of these games to you guys. The UAC. So you walk eternally through the Shadow Realms, standing against evil where all others falter. May your thirst for retribution never quench. May the blood on your sword never dry, and may we never need you again. Korax Entry, Chapter 7, Verse 17.
They are rage, brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear, until it is done.
Classic start.
We have to continue this.
Give me 1 second. I'm sharing the link to stream around. Back to it.
Cannot determine the cause of the demonic invasion until the Rezop satellite is brought back online.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Samuel Hayden. I'm the head of this facility. I think we can work together and resolve this problem in a way that benefits us both.
That moment right there was referenced a lot when this game first came out as Doom going screw you to the rising trend of story-heavy walking simulator-type games that that were popular at the time. I think I already said that. You'll have to excuse my mini brain farts. I'm still new to this whole streaming and let's play thing. Auto map. Mission. The mission tab will show you the auto map, available mission challenges, and exploration items that can be found in your current mission. Weapon upgrade points. Arsenal. The Arsenal tab shows your available weapons and mods on this screen. You can spend weapon upgrade points to improve your mods and track your progress toward available weapon masteries. Praetor Suit Token. Praetor Suit. The Praetor Suit tab allows you to upgrade a variety of the Praetor Suit's capabilities. Here you can spend Praetor Suit tokens on available upgrades and view requirements to unlock remaining categories. And we got a few things to read here. Pistol. UAC EMG sidearm. Every UAC employee is provided a standard UAC EMG Energy Matter Gel sidearm upon promotion to Tier 2 and above. This sidearm is reliable and effective at short range. A gravity gear dynamo in the stock charges a capacitor whenever the operator moves. When the weapon is fired, the capacitor compresses up to 4 megawatts of Argent energy into a hardened plasma gel and launches the slug at high velocity. The gel slug has the same impact properties of conventional ammunition, making the weapon act and feel like a standard ballistic firearm. The weapon is constructed of thermally diffusive metal alloys, which allow it to discharge rapidly and repeatedly without overheating or compromising the accuracy. The capacitor in the EMG can also be upgraded to concentrate the energy into one large pulse for more stopping power. The Possessed. The Possessed are created in a Lazarus Wave event, a phenomenon first discovered by Dr. Olivia Pierce during her Lazarus project. While most victims exposed to Argent biowaves will expire without further effect, some subjects will absorb traces of Argent energy and enter a state of posthumous vigor. Despite necrosis of the internal organs, with the exception of the brain, the victim continues to animate and exhibit a low order of sentience for weeks or even months after clinical death. Posthumous brain activity in the possessed is limited to instinctive behavior. The possessed are known to be territorial when confronted by the living. When isolated, they often enter a dormant state of extended periods of time. They will stand unmoving for days or weeks at a time until presented with a live food source or threatened by a predator. An interesting behavior has been seen when the possessed are held in small groups. They will drag human corpses to a central location within their holding pens and then perform a silent ritual around the pile of bodies. The resulting ceremonial site appears to be the initial stages of a gore nest. These actions must be driven by a telepathic communication with higher-ranking demons, as there is no local brain activity that could manage such choices. The possessed will perform these tasks even when limbs are removed or Pavlovian pain receptors are implanted in their cortex, further cementing the theory that they are unwilling slaves, performing an integral part of the life cycle of the demons. The possessed create the birthing ground for new demons, and upon expiration are themselves used as fertilizer for the gore nest. The Praetor suit. Additional relics were found in the tomb alongside the Doom Marine. Some incantation tablets and an ancient combat suit, which was given the name the Praetor suit. When found, it was encased in an inscribed stone tomb. The suit was extracted from the rock, cleaned, and subjected to numerous tolerance tests, and found to be almost impervious to any damage. It appeared to have some mechanical function as well, small receptors on the gloves and chest plate that attracted argent plasma and dissipated it through capillary tubes in the substructure. Markings on the armor were also consistent with images of a man or humanoid seen in several of the tablets and stones found on other expeditions. The same markings were also noted on the Helix stone. Despite it being clear that the suit can be activated in some way, no method has been found to do it. It appears to be missing a component, likely the Doom Marine itself. And I won't read the tutorials. I'll read this codex entry after this combat section.
Demonic presence at unsafe level. Lockdown in effect.
Oh yeah, this difficulty's definitely gonna kick my butt. Can't be as reckless as I am on Hurt Me Plenty.
Demonic presence at
If I'm dying
unsafe
too
level.
often, though, I'll switch it down to Hurt Me Plenty, because I don't want to be stuck in a section for too long. There actually was a playthrough I did of this game years ago where I had it set to the highest difficulty, which I believe is Ultra Nightmare. I'm gonna be honest, that was not a fun experience for me. The problem is that it's one of these difficulty settings where the enemies don't get smarter, they just deal more damage. And in this game where you are very likely to get hit because of how many enemies are around, it's just a pain in the ass, I'm not gonna lie. Also, I've played this game so many times. Like, there was a playthrough I did where I somehow managed to glory kill almost every enemy. Another one where I played without the hub or the user interface, just because I could. I love this game. It's one of my personal favorites of all time. Even a decade later, I'm still playing it.
You want to leave this place. You would ruin everything.
I'm willing to take full responsibility for the horrible events of the last 24 hours, but you must understand. Our interest in their world was purely for the betterment of mankind. Everything has clearly gotten out of hand.
Let's rock and roll. Studies of demons upon entering this dimension have shown that their conduct is not purely vindictive. There is a method behind their actions. When a demon captures their prey, the fresh kill is taken to a temporary ceremonial site where arcane rituals are performed on the pile of blood and gore. When enough corpses have been gathered, the ceremonial site becomes a gore nest. These sites, imbued with hell energy from the rituals, act as umbilical cords to hell. Extreme caution must be taken when approaching a gore nest. Attacking the nest, or indeed any demons within close proximity to the nest, will act as an alarm and siphon more demons from hell. Combat Shotgun. The UAC shotgun disperses a spread of high-velocity buckshot for maximum impact against the enemy, ideally suited for the operative who requires a speedy response for deadly close encounters. The wide coverage of this weapon loses impact at long range. The weapon is forged from a high-quality titanium steel to ensure maximum reliability, repeat rate, and yield strength. Imp. These ferocious and agile demons are found all over hell and are often used on the front line in a concerted attack in either dimension. They revel in battle, feeding off their victims when the hunger takes them. I'm just gonna go ahead and bump it down to hurt me plenty. A brief history. Despite the discovery of liquid water on Mars in the early 21st century, the colonization of Mars had little appeal beyond exploration for the next century. With the discovery of the Argent Fracture, a transdimensional stream of unrefined Argent plasma in 2095, settling and mining Mars became both practical and essential to meet the vast energy demands of Earth. However, the need for atmospheric conversion and terraforming of the red planet was a task that seemed insurmountable to all but one corporation, the UAC. Through their diligent dedication to technological advancement and forward thinking, an outpost was established in MTC 2096 to extract Argent plasma from the fracture. When this plasma is subjected to the UAC's fermatic transference pattern, I think I pronounced that right, Argent energy is produced. This remarkable venture eventually bore fruit, as Argent energy became the primary power source of all of Earth. New visitors to the UAC facility may take for granted the rich atmosphere while on the surface, but it should be remembered that just a few short decades ago, Mars was an inhospitable desert that could support no life. Unauthorized exploration into the exclusion zones outside the base is not allowed under any circumstances. Highly volatile experiments and artifacts are frequently researched a safe distance away from the base, and your safety in these areas cannot be guaranteed. That was an embarrassing shot I just missed. I'm not gonna try and find all the secrets to every level in this playthrough, but if I know where one is, I'll go for it. I'm not usually one to 100% a game. While Lazarus wave exposure does effectively wipe any vestige of human behavior from most of its victims, some subjects continue to display tactical or cognizance posthumously. As with possessed engineers, this does not appear to be random. If an individual has training in combat, as part of the UAC military, the Lazarus Wave event will transform them into more than just mere slaves. This anomaly further supports the theory that there is some form of genetic coding embedded within the Lazarus Wave particles, which governs the outcome of Lazarus Wave exposure on per-case basis. Frag grenade. The design of this weapon is conventional in nature, though it has been refined to perform at the limit of its ballistic capabilities. The UAC fragmentation grenade uses a Comp-D explosive package encased in a steel alloy shell and has an effective fatality radius of about 5 meters. Improvements on the antiquated M67 grenade include a more reliable chemical fuse mechanism, interior machining of the casing to provide more efficient projectile dispersion, and a trigger switch safety clip to prevent unwanted activation. The newer Comp-D explosive also ensures the radius pressure wave has no drop spots, ensuring full damage potential within the fatality zone. Okay. The same glory kill 3 times in a row. Hazard protection decreases explosive barrel and environmental damage taken. Elite Guard. The Elite Guard is a company of security personnel charged with protecting the Lazarus Project research and maintaining order throughout the Argent facility. Their distinct red uniforms help instill a calming influence among UAC employees, and they are known to be level-headed, disciplined, and fair but firm. Their suits contain cybernetic augmentations, which gives the elite guards an advantage should they need to quell any disturbances. The augmentations allow them to be faster, stronger, and more resilient to injury. Ah yes, red. The most calming color. We'll get the drone in a sec. I love that you can just spawn kill enemies in this game. It makes them trying to have a badass entrance very funny. Okay. Get out of the way so I can see my game. God. Oh, is this one? That's so stupid. Probably gonna get grilled in the comments for how crappy I play this game. Like I said, I played this game a lot, not that I was a pro at it. Yeah. So, you can find these combat support drones all throughout the game, and get like the weapon mods from them. In 2016, the weapon mods have one flaw where, for most of them, it's very clear that one is better than the other. For the shotgun here, sorry, a thing popped up on Twitch. For the shotgun here, both the charge shot and explosive shot are very useful, but some weapons, like the machine gun, the micro missiles are infinitely more useful than the sniper scope. For now, we're going to go with the explosive shot. Explosive shot. This shotgun ammunition incorporates a glycerin? I think glycerin. Fuse that detonates on octylpropane gel upon impact. Embedded shot is dispersed at the point of impact, creating a wide area of effect, highly effective against multiple targets, or when detonated to the rear of an enemy in the field. Yeah. Field drone. Often referred to as droppers, these drones, developed by the UAC to autonomously receive and deliver ordered parts to engineers, off-duty employees, and soldiers. Speedy recovery reduces the reach charge time between explosive shots. Okay, can you not climb on this thing? I thought you could. Making myself look like a fool. You mind? That's the thing with Doom gameplay. You can't ever sit still. You gotta keep moving. The annoying issue of like Doom Guy not grabbing onto ledges or taking forever to do so, like what's happening throughout this combat encounter, gets mitigated by the time you get like the double jump boots.
Welcome to the UAC. Now 221 accident-free days. God rested on the seventh day, but imagine how much further along we would be if he hadn't. The UAC is committed to excellence. That's why we implemented the 7-day work week. Now you can achieve greatness alongside your coworkers every day. Let's never stop achieving.
Alright, that's the first mission done. Let's keep going. Resource operations. Broken free from your prison, pitted against hell, the cycle begins anew. To discover the cause of the demonic invasion, first locate and align the communications satellite in the Resource Operation Facility. Know your enemy.
Hello, I am Vega, the sentient intelligence assigned to Mars.
Hi, Vega.
After running diagnostics on the Praetor suit, it appears that I can activate optional challenges that, when completed, will assist in upgrading your arsenal at an accelerated pace. I have added a tracking component to your dossier.
Main power offline. All
Vega. Running the Argent facility takes a lot of power, not just electrical and mechanical power, but computer power as well. With so many interdependent systems feeding off a single power source, the UAC decided it would need to create a central mainframe computer to manage not only the flow of Argent energy, but the day-to-day operations of its facility with over 60,000 employees. This megacomputer, the brainchild of Samuel Hayden, head of the UAC, would exceed the computer ability of any system before it, and more importantly, would be recognized as the first truly autonomous artificial intelligence entity. They named it Vega. Vega.
entrances not operational.
You can punch me in the nuts for that joke. I know that won't do anything, I just want to press it.
Main power offline. All entrances not operational. Main power online.
Do I have ow, asshole. Do I have dialogue turned down too low?
You will have a seat alongside them just as I will in what will become the new world that they create for us. Starting now.
You have master volume turned down low. It's just cause maybe sound effects I'll turn down. Trying to make sure I don't mess with my hearing too much because I've had surgery not too long ago on it. See how that goes.
I believe in honesty. I believe in honesty. Especially now. And what will be your final moments in this world? All the rumors, the human sacrifices, the help, the
Resource Operations. The Resource Operations Center, referred to as ResOps, was one of the first facilities constructed at the Mars base after the discovery of the Argent fracture. It encompasses several key areas needed to run the facility, including plasma extraction and processing, isotope stabilization, heavy metal and ore mining, artifact analysis, communications networking, and off-world transportation. New UAC employees posted to the Mars facility are expected to fulfill a tour of duty in ResOps before moving on to their specialized career bracket. Security Clearance Level 1 allows access to all all areas of ResOps, excluding the Vega networking hubs and some satellite control centers. For access of these locations, new advocates must submit a Delta Q Delta form to the Department Enforcer.
Humans, it's all true. My sisters and brothers, be thankful. You will be the first. You will have a seat alongside them, just as I will, in what will become the new world that they create for us. Starting now.
Secret up here.
Especially now, in what will be your final moments in this world. All the rumors, the human sacrifices, the hunter, the demons. It's true. My sisters and brothers, be thankful. You will be the first. You will have a seat alongside them, just as I will, in what will become the new world that they create for us. Starting now.
Making sure I didn't miss anything. During a Lazarus Wave event, victims undergo dramatic changes to their physiology, both internally and externally. Aside from fundamentally changing the composition of their internal organs, the high-intensity plasma wave is strong enough to fuse metal to skin. In many cases, personal items such as watches and jewelry are burned through the skin and become permanently embedded in the victim. Perhaps the most unfortunate victims of this fusing event are any subjects that happen to be working with fuse tanks or welding equipment, as this equipment is often attached to the body to allow for mobile work in low-gravity environments. The Lazarus Wave will create a demonized human with a highly combustible explosive device embedded in their skin. As with all possessed creatures, they are mindless and driven through some form of telepathic communication from an unknown demon overseer. Additional care must be taken when confronting a possessed engineer. If the fuel tank is punctured and it doesn't explode, the weakened container can turn the possessed engineer into an explosive projectile. This is a danger to any being nearby, both human and demon. Decrease the time it takes to power up a charge energy shot. Yes.
Demonic presence at unsafe levels. Lockdown in effect. Demonic presence eliminated. Lockdown disengaged.
The new advocates. And in that vision they saw the future, bold and powerful, and many worked as one to bring the new order. What better words to inspire you as you set about initiating yourself into the UAC, those who came before you and those who serve with all operate within the same goal in mind, the development of a new dawn for mankind. It is by this principle of teamwork that we will elevate ourselves to the next plane of existence. Bit of an ego there, don't you think? If you have any new suggestions to improve the work environment while working your tenure in ResOps, please submit suggestion form WAD E1M4 to your command controller. However, it is imperative that you learn to accept the things you can't change and follow the path that has been laid out for you. Your service in ResOps is a test of your devotion to the cause. Should you be asked to submit yourself to an interrogation program or experimental treatment, you are expected to comply without question. If a fellow advocate asks you to engage in a dedication ceremony, say yes. You see an advocate doubting their role at the UAC, bring it to the attention of an enforcer so they might receive the help they need. Don't be selfish. Tier 2 is for everyone. So that already gives you an idea that the UAC is a shady organization, if the stuff we've seen already wasn't enough. Hit the button. And here we get the iconic chainsaw.
We take pride in nurturing a growing workforce, and each year we harvest only the best of the best. Are you ready to move up? To take on new challenges? To become more than you ever dreamed you could be? Talk to your supervisor to see if you meet the requirements for this year's Soul Harvest.
Ugh. And this is how we get ammo when we're out of it. Chainsaw. There have been reports of this item being seen at the Argent facility. Though there are no known uses for it, security personnel have been made aware that this item has likely been smuggled onto Mars and have been directed to confiscate it immediately, as there are no practical uses for it. It must be assumed that this item should be considered a black market enthusiast weapon.
The UAC. The world is counting on us. How committed are you?
See, sometimes with this game, I just get in the zone, and other times, I'm just like a complete mess. Imagine a lot of people are like that within the game. I'll help. What am I doing? Alright, there's a few secrets in this area we can backtrack to.
Demonic presence at unsafe level. Lockdown in effect. Demonic presence at unsafe level. Lockdown in effect. Demonic presence eliminated. Lockdown disengaged.
Coming home from the bar, be like, I'm gonna come back to this in a minute.
Access granted.
There we go. I like the secrets in this game where you can get certain weapons early. The plasma rifle became standard issue among military units with the advent of Argent-powered electromagnetic accelerators. Based off the HIPGD design of the early 21st century, this weapon delivers a rapid salvo of plasmoids that inflict both impact and thermal damage to the target. Wait, I could have just gone back up this way. I'm very absent-minded. The Stun Blast is good, but Heat Blast is better. Also named after a Ben 10 alien. A copper crucible attached to the focusing lens of the plasma rifle absorbs residual thermal energy from the weapon and can discharge it instantly by transferring the heat to a borosilicate diffusion chamber. This creates a heat wave from the end of the weapon that causes a localized damage and sometimes creates a pressure wave that will knock back targets. The crucible recharges with normal use of the weapon. While the operator of the weapon is partially shielded from the blast, it is recommended that a thermal protection uniform, such as the X-Suit prototypes, be worn while operating the modification. Superheated blast. Superheated rounds. Shots from the plasma rifle now build up faster. Yes. Bigger boom. Increases the size of the explosion. Item awareness. The automat reveals exploration items in a wider radius around your position. Speaking of Heat Blast, to celebrate Ben 10's 20th anniversary, I've been rewatching the original series, and I've been rewatching Danny Phantom alongside it, since I'm a big fan of the webcomic 5YL, which is a crossover between the two IPs. Just finished the first season of OS as well. I have to say, Ben 10 Classic is probably my favorite of the Ben 10 shows.
Welcome to the UAC's Mars.
I think it has like the best art style. Maybe not the best stories, but definitely the most interesting world compared to what the series would evolve into. Especially with all the retcons they introduced as like Prime Ben's story just kept going. Heavy Assault Rifle. Although recently superseded by the Plasma Rifle as the UAC's standard issue weapon, the Heavy Assault Rifle is still in widespread use due to its dependable mechanical firing mechanism, high accuracy at long range, and an abundant supply of ammunition. The weapon is effective at all engagement distances and is best used against a solitary target. Unless a micro-missile modification is present, the standard issue ammunition is a 50 caliber FMJ round. OS also easily has the best Vilgax. Not a lot of people are fans of Overlord Vilgax. I can understand why. He just kind of comes off as like a Dark Side or even Thanos knockoff than the more unique characterization he had in Classic. He wanted to be a Warlord in Classic, but the way they made him into one, there's a power up here, I can use that. Yeah! Love it. I like how some enemies will die in this game without like any blood animation, so it just looks like they keyed over from a from a heart attack. Oh yeah, what was I saying? Vilgax's character, he always wanted to be a warlord, and Alien Force made him that, but the way they went about it just felt kind of underwhelming to a lot of fans. The iconic voice given to him by, I believe, Steve Bloom, also was swapped out to one that I would say Warlord Vilgax has a good voice, but when you hear Steve Bloom's more monstrous sound for him, you just kind of like, that's my Vilgax. There's a neat little secret here. Not only can you find one of the figurines here, but now you can get into this room from the top instead of taking the elevator. By the way, I'm a huge Ben 10 fan, so I could probably talk y'all's ear off about it all video or stream long.
Unlocking your access to the facility scanner. Come to the Vega terminal, and I'll give you what you need.
May go back and also start keeping track of what aliens Ben turns into throughout the series. Just for fun. I may watch the sequel shows after finishing Classic, along with the reboot, but I don't know, that's quite a lot of media, and I got other stuff in my catalog I need to watch. I still need to finish Ultraman Trigger. This is Sparta. The shield enemies are definitely an annoyance. In fact, hold on, let me read their entry. Possessed security. Possessed security units exhibit the most complex battle strategies of all possessed humans, including mobile shield advances towards the enemy and firing while in defilade. Possessed security will also drop their shields to adapt a more accurate firing stance at the cost of lowering their defense. Berserk. Test subjects exposed to this spear exhibit extreme rage and increased strength. It has been noted that subjects given the Berserk spear will vent their rage on any living creature they can find, and will even self-harm if they have no outlet for their fury. In the extreme rare case that a subject survives exposure, they will be left in a perpetual state of delirium and should be exterminated. In fact, in the comments for people who watch this video, what's your favorite Ben 10 alien? I'm basic, mine's Heat Blast, although I am quite partial to upgrade as well. A possessed security will keep an optimal distance from its target. If the target gets too close, the possessed security will attack with a ferocious shield bash, then retreat to a preferred engagement range. Possessed security have only been observed using the DS-117 UAC shotgun and shield outfit, which suggests that their ranks are exclusively created from members of a special forces military unit called the UAC Neo-Phalanx. The Neo-Phalanx is used exclusively as military defense for remote UAC colonies. How many colonies do they have? Well, we do see throughout Eternal that humanity has pretty decent space capabilities, so I can believe they have more than one colony on different planets. But I think they do in Eternal, and I'm misremembering. Give this weapon some use. Rude. Yeah, the secrets in these first few levels I know pretty well. It's so late in the game that I'm not as familiar with the secrets there.
It's a gift. Take it. It will give you strength, help you on your journey, if you can withstand the power surge.
Do you know who you're talking to, man? I'm gonna do health increase.
Is pure Argent energy just taken into your system? It seems to agree with you. I will unlock the remaining Argent cells within the facility for you. Vega, give him what he wants.
61,337 UAC members deceased.
That's really quiet. I'm gonna have to adjust the volume again.
Demonic presence through the Ars installation is critical. According to the records, Dr. Hayden, the invasion originated in the Lazarus facility. It seems that a hell wave was activated, transforming killed by the demons released from their holding cells by Olivia Pierce.
I feel I should apologize for what's happened here. Some of my employees took things too far. Olivia was the cause of all this, and I believe you will have to deal with her in time. You may not agree with our research, but know this. We exploited Hell and its resources because it was in mankind's best interest to do so. What you now see in this facility is the cost of progress. But none of that matters now.
There is an emergency in the foundry. The regulators have been destroyed and the core temperatures are now destabilizing.
They've overrun the adjacent facility. If the venting turbines aren't re-engaged, neither of us will survive the meltdown.
Okay, gotta take a quick break after this. And I'm back. I noticed I missed one guard, so oh well. Foundry. With the satellite back online, the full scale and origin of the attack is revealed. Olivia Pierce, the Lazarus Project's lead scientist turned cult leader, activated a Hellwave and released hundreds of demons from their holding cells in the Lazarus laboratories. The devastation that followed has left the facility on the brink of complete destruction. The Foundry reactors are in critical meltdown. Samuel Hayden, a survivor and head of the Mars facility, has offered you his help if you need it. You don't. You just need ammo and a way to stop the meltdown before it tears the base apart.
After running more diagnostics on the active Praetor suit, it appears that I can accelerate the upgrading of your arsenal by measuring your combat effectiveness. I have added a tracker to your helmet's display.
The facility will not allow you access to the turbine room unless the demonic threat level is brought down inside the Foundry. Our security systems cannot be overridden.
Welcome in, viewer. Micromissiles. A multi-chamber cylinder located under the primary barrel can be loaded with up to 6 HMX missiles. These small but deadly rockets were designed to deliver multiple payloads to a single target, but can also be used to subdue multiple targets within a tight kill zone. The missiles will detonate shortly after making contact with any surface. Argent Energy. Early in the development of the Argent accumulator, it was discovered that Argent plasma compressed into Hayden radius spheres, named after Samuel Hayden, would retain its structure when charged with enough radioactive isotopes. Once formed, if the surface tension of the plasma sphere is broken, the energy cache contained within it will quickly discharge, energizing anything it comes into contact with. Argent caches were the forerunner of the Argent accumulator, but their vulnerability to blunt force makes their use too unpredictable. There are still hundreds of these prototype Argent caches to be found around the Argent facility, and have become somewhat of a collector's item among UAC employees. Should you find an Argent cache, please report your finding to your department enforcer. Ammo efficient. Reduces the ammo cost of micromissiles. Yes. Foundry Team Manifest. Congratulations, new advocate. If you are reading this message, then you have been promoted to the Foundry Resource Team. If you were volunteered for this service, you are joining an elite band of Tier 1 advocates whose work and dedication keeps our mission running on all cylinders. As a member of Foundry Resources, you will have access to some of the most advanced equipment the UAC has to offer, including Grypton cargo handlers, Delta V jump boots, and Dino Phasic elevators. New members might want to consider applying for an exclusive team tattoo upon joining a sign of faith in our science. Team tattoos are a mark of your tireless work at the UAC and can be requested by signing up for any of the Lazarus Wave case studies. Please contact a Tier 3 Advanced Weaponry Technician to fill in your application for a Pentagram brand today. kind of sus that it's a pentagram, but details. That's another thing too I like is there'll be random instances of enemies fighting each other, showing that they're
detected.
Showing that they're really disorganized compared to their invasion in the next game.
Access denied.
So that's our first introduction to the Hell Knight. The art style in the Doom games The art style in the Doom games is a really interesting thing because
core temperature rising.
Doom 2016 has some leftover elements of Doom 3 in it. While 2016 is not a horror game, it definitely has some of the leftover atmosphere of Doom 3 in it. The colors are less saturated than they are in Eternal. The atmosphere and music is very sinister. The Hell Knight looks identical to its appearance in Doom 3. In fact, of all the enemies in the game, I think the Hell Knight is the only one who doesn't get like a major visual update. It's just really interesting to talk about. That was a miss. In fact, when the demo for this game first came out, and it was the Foundry level here that they showed off.
Stopped.
The Imp looked completely different from how they do in the final game. In fact, they looked like something from Doom 3 as opposed to, well, here. I totally meant to do whatever happened there. Also, we get introduced to my favorite enemy in this game, the Hellraisers. If I had to be a guessing man, I would assume their name is a reference to Hellraiser, the movie franchise.
Demonic threat reduced by 25%.
Hellraiser. Hellraiser is an astute and tactical foe that will engage enemies from a distance with a powerful beam of unrefined hell energy. The beam emanates from an arm-like protrusion composed of cartilage and other osseous tissue. Articulation of the cartilage allows the Hellraiser to focus its energy beam into a single charged shot that will obliterate anything that stands in its way. Yeah, these are an interesting enemy. I like their design, even though it's kind of noticeable their reskin of the possessed soldier. In fact, the Hellraisers, along with the Summoner and the Possessed Engineer, are the only enemies that don't make it into the next game. Which is a shame. The more the merrier, I say. Despite their low status among the demon ranks and their seemingly endless numbers, imps have unique characteristics in battle. Some prefer fighting from an elevated position, while others will rush their targets and swipe at them with razor-sharp claws. Walls and obstacles offer no defense against imps, as they will leap great heights and easily hang from surfaces. The imp is capable of channeling hell energy through its hands and shaping it into a projectile. As the imp channels the energy, airborne particles and debris are sucked into the maelstrom to create a condensed superheated fireball. The mechanics of the imp's range attacks suggest that they are actually a lower form of the summoner. What the fuck? What? Nice little Terminator reference there. Well, there's a highlight for the shorts. What the hell?
Have you filled out your UAC accident?
Took me all the way back here.
Reduced by 25%.
Okay, don't glitch on me this time, game.
Demonic threat reduced by 50%.
So there's at least 2 more Gornest to get.
Warning, core temperature rising.
really like this track going on here. Is this the same music as the classic game itself, or are these new tracks? I imagine they're probably the same tracks. And we're about to get a Hell Knight popping up here.
Stay focused.
No? There's usually one that shows up. Either there or in this area. Game didn't glitch on me again, did it? May need to. Oh well, more playtime. Wonderful start there.
After running more diagnostics on the active Praetor suit, it appears that I can accelerate the upgrading of your arsenal by measuring your combat effectiveness. I have added a tracker to your helmet's display.
The facility will not allow you access to the turbine room unless the demonic threat level is brought down inside the foundry. Our security systems cannot be overridden.
Alright, so for those of you who don't know, I think a glitch of some kind occurred. So I had to restart the level. Foundry Team Manifest. Congratulations, new advocate. If you are reading this message, then you have been promoted to the Foundry Resource Team. If you will volunteer for this service, you are joining an elite band of Tier 1 advocates whose work and dedication keeps our mission running on all cylinders. As a member of Foundry Resources, you will have access to some of the most advanced equipment the UAC has to offer, including Gripton cargo handlers, Delta V or Delta 5 jump boots, and Dino-Phasic elevators. New members might want to consider applying for an exclusive team tattoo upon joining as a sign of faith in our science. Team tattoos are a mark of our tireless work at the UAC and can be requested by signing up For any of the Lazarus Wave case studies, please contact a Tier 3 Advanced Weaponry Technician to fill in your application for Pentagram brand today. Also, hello, welcome in. Sorry, I was reading stuff. Early in the development of the Argent accumulator, it was discovered that Argent plasma compressed into Hayden radius spheres, named after Samuel Hayden, would retain its structure when charged with enough radioactive isotopes. Once formed, if the surface tension of the plasma sphere is broken, the energy cache contained within will quickly discharge, energizing anything it comes into contact with. Argent caches were the forerunner of the Argent accumulator, but their vulnerability to blunt force makes their use too unpredictable. There are still hundreds of these prototype Argent caches to be found around the Argent facility and have become somewhat of a collector's item among UAC employees. Should you find any Argent caches, please report your finding to your department enforcer. To answer your question, I do not speak French. Micromissiles. A multi-chambered cylinder located under the primary barrel can be loaded with up to 6 HMX missiles. These small but deadly rockets were designed to deliver multiple payloads to a single target, but can also be used to subdue multiple targets within a tight kill zone. The missiles will detonate shortly after making contact with any surface. I have not played the original Doom from 1993. I do wish to, though.
Gas leak detected.
That's our first look at the Hell Knight in the game. It's interesting that of all the enemies throughout the modern trilogy, the Hell Knight is the one with the least amount of redesigns, or the least amount of changes to its pre-existing design. Pretty much looking the same as it did in the third Doom, or Doom 3. As I was saying before I had to restart the level due to a glitch, it's interesting looking at the art evolution of the modern Doom games. Doom 2016 has some leftover elements of Doom 3 in its design, mainly in the form of like a few horror elements. The music and atmosphere is more sinister. The colors less saturated. There's still like a bit of cosmic horror to the way hell is presented.
Gas leak stopped.
Before Eternal went full on retro with its redesigns of the enemies. In fact, the imp in this game, when they showed the demo years ago, looked more like something from Doom 3 than they do now. Also, my favorite enemy introduced here, the Hellraiser. I'm pretty sure their name is a reference to the movie franchise. It just seemed fitting.
Demonic threat reduced by 25%.
Let's see. Hellraiser. The Hellraiser is an astute and tactical foe that will engage enemies from a distance with a powerful beam of unrefined hell energy. The beam emanates from an arm-like protrusion composed of cartilage and other tissue. Articulation of the cartilage allows the Hellraiser to focus its energy beam into a single charged shot that will obliterate anything that stands in its path. I like these guys. They're a reskin of the Possessed Soldier, but I like their look. Wish they came back in the other games. What a nice gentleman waiting for us at the door. Ow. Oh crap, was I unmuted? Was I not? Was I not unmuted? Oh, that's embarrassing. What I was saying was, I think that may have been what happened last time, is that I forgot to grab the yellow key card, and that's why the game wouldn't advance for me. So that's my own foolishness. Hell Knight. The Hell Knight is a towering brute bred for combat deep in the bowels of hell. These diabolical beasts are the prize gladiators of the demon horde. They relentlessly stomp towards their target, smashing their massive fist into the ground to create shockwaves that stagger their opponent and leave them vulnerable to bone-crushing melee attacks. The Hell Knight's powerful legs allow it to leap across large distances effortlessly, quickly closing the gap to its enemy. In fact, how long was I muted? How long was I muted there? Did me explaining the Hell Knight's design not get heard? We've got a lot of professionalism to develop with this streaming stuff. Oh, come on. really like the track for this secret level. I'm assuming this is the same music as in the original Doom. Yeah, this is one of my favorite secret levels in the game. I may stream myself playing all of the secret levels in full. May do that as like a bonus once I finish the main story.
Stay focused. Stay committed.
Samuel Hayden. Samuel Hayden is the chairman of the UAC. Born into the wealthy and powerful Hayden family, he completed his master's in theoretical physics at Oxford University. He showed prestigious talent in several fields, including thermodynamics, electromagnetic theory, and nuclear sciences. At a young age, he established the Samuel Hayden Foundation, a philanthropist organization dedicated to sponsoring young scientific talent and funding scientific programs in schools and colleges. His daunting intellect made him a prime target for the UAC, and they recruited him soon after he was appointed General Director of the Global Science Council. Samuel took over leadership of the UAC a few months after the discovery of the Argent Fracture, and immediately put the Argent Tower into production. During construction of the Argent Tower, Samuel was diagnosed with stage 4 inoperable brain cancer. Samuel was given 6 months to live. He dedicated those last few months to finding a radical solution to his mortality: cybernetic transference. Interesting more for Samuel, given what we later learn about him in Eternal.
Remember, the Blind Council is always watching. Stay focused. Stay committed.
Warning. Core temperature rising. Demonic threat reduced by 50%.
Don't think I read this part yet, so I'm doing anyways. The Foundry, an extension wing of Resource Operations, the first Mars base, processing all the heavy elements mined from the outlying Martian landscape, and from around the original location of the Argent fracture. Refining Argent plasma requires a large amount of transitional metals and noble gases, so a central location that can be systematically cleansed and decontaminated is required to keep Argent energy production at maximum efficiency. As such, this area is considered a high-risk area, and all UAC employees are subjected to regular med checks to ensure their production capabilities are not degraded by the environment. Industrial accidents-related deaths in the foundry dropped dramatically in MTC 2146 thanks to the implementation of new UAC safety protocols, where employees exposed to dangerous materials are immediately sent to the Lazarus labs for cleansing, re-education, and where possible, reintegration. As a result of this protocol, officially reported deaths have dropped to negligible amounts. Dropped significantly, but not to zero.
Have you filled out your UAC accidental death and dismemberment form yet? See Jessica in Human Resources for assistance. Have you filled out your UAC accidental death and dismemberment form yet? See Jessica in Human Resources for assistance.
Demonic threat reduced by 75%.
Is the foundation to our success. With you, we will establish a new paradigm and move humanity into the future. Have you filled out your UAC accidental death and dismemberment form yet? See Jessica in Human Resources for assistance. Remember, the Blind Council is always watching.
Going the right way? It's like, where's it pointing me?
Have you filled out your UAC accidental death and dismemberment form yet? See Jessica in Human Resources for assistance.
So, this is actually starting to bug the crap out of me. What's with this glitch? It's like, The UAC Health Station follows the same standard design specializations as its predecessor, the Health Pack, but with improved nanobot dispersal and faster cellular analysis. When the patient's arm is inserted into the administration sleeve, the health station initiates a microscopic atomic force scan on the subject and administers a nanobot package that targets cellular deficiencies. Chem clusters are then dosed to the patient with stimulus rapid recovery. Some users experience lightheadedness when using the health station. This can be cured by reasserting the patient's arm into the machine and running it a second time. This step can be repeated as often as necessary. I'm gonna reload from previous checkpoint here because I don't know what the hell's going on with this thing. I don't know if it's just me being a moron or there's some kind of glitch.
Have you filled out your UAC accidental death and dismemberment form yet?
Demonic
Jessica
threat
in Human
reduced by
Resources for assistance.
75%.
Okay, so there's one more somewhere. Oh, I don't think we've done the lower part yet. Yeah, we haven't. Okay. So that's on me. I'm sorry. This is my first time doing a Let's Play of any kind, so I'm just kind of anxious. I'm also just, in general, a very absent-minded person, so if I make dumb mistakes like these, I do apologize. Despite their low status among the demon ranks and their seemingly endless numbers, imps have unique characteristics in battle. Some prefer fighting from an elevated position, while others will rush their target and swipe at them with razor-sharp claws. Walls and obstacles offer no defense against imps, as they will leap great heights and easily hang from surfaces. The imp is capable of channeling hell energy through the hands and shaping it into a projectile. As the imp channels the energy, airborne particles and debris are sucked into the maelstrom to create a condensed, superheated fireball. The mechanics of the imp's range attacks suggest that they are actually a lower form of the summoner. Okay, now that's
Demonic
every door
presence
nest.
reduced to minimum safe levels. Lockdown disengaged. Turbine room doors now open. Warning, core temperature reaching critical levels. The core temperature is now stabilized.
The primary control room has been activated somewhere nearby. It could be Olivia.
Authorization: Olivia Pierce. Alpha 402.
She has locked me out, Dr. Hayden.
All power rerouted to Argent Energy Tower.
She is trying to tear open the portal between our world and theirs.
You could not have saved them anyway.
The system won't allow anyone but Olivia to override it now. We will have to shut down the Argent Tower manually from the surface.
Alright, that was more troublesome than I would have liked. Um, because of what the next level is, I'm going to top off stream by playing that last mission, and then that'll be it for now. Argent Facility. Olivia Pierce, the cult leader of the UAC, is trying to open a gateway into their dimension. She wants to help bring about the end of this world, another lost soul, fallen under Hell's control. That kind of rhymes. Olivia overclocked the Argent Tower, using it to drill a hole into the Hellscape and let Hell's army through. You need to shut down the Argent Tower before it breaks through into their world by disabling the energy filters located throughout the surface complex.
Olivia is using the tower to drill a doorway into their world. You can prevent her from opening the gate by disabling the tower induction filters.
Untethered cross-dimensional activity is a frequent occurrence outside of the base, so it is recommended that workers buddy up when journeying onto the Martian surface.
First, these rune childs. That one's easy enough. Runes. The Runes tab is where you can view available runes and equip them. You can also view your progress toward upgrading any rune you have equipped, as well as requirements for unlocking additional slots. Vacuum. Increase the range that you can absorb dropped items. Hold on, there's a secret around here. Yeah, there we go. Exterior opportunities. At times, Tier 1 and 2 advocates will be asked to perform dangerous duties that include exterior work. This work may be put before you as punishment for not meeting your quota, or because you are the best person to complete the job. In either case, when advocates should approach the work with the same focus and commitment as any other task. Should you experience any interdimensional encounters, you are advised to report to a Tier 3 Lazarus Project scientist or your department enforcer. You are advised to not approach any non-human entities without executive supervision. Rocket launcher. This weapon has seen little design modification since its development in the late 21st century. It is standard issue to heavy weapons specialists in all military forces due to its unparalleled direct impact and radius damage. The UAC improved the design slightly by adding an automatic quick reload. The weapon casting has been retrofitted to accept UAC developed modifications. It's a level from Doom 1. Yep. I like the addition of the classic levels here. I'm a bit more focused now with gameplay. I am going to do the lock-on burst. That one's a bit more useful than the remote detonate, I think. Lock-on burst. Each projectile for the UAC rocket launcher is fitted with a guidance system at manufacture. This modification activates that guidance system. Micro motors in the fin assembly will guide the rocket towards a, quote, painted target. When the operator uses the built-in laser targeter to lock on to a target, a salvo of 3 rockets is launched in rapid succession. Targeting requires a steady hand for several seconds, but once achieved, the guided projectiles never miss their mark. Here comes another moment that people really like to cite when talking about Doom 2016.
We're only temporarily disabling the tower. You need to remove each lens individually. Carefully release the hinges.
Warning. Energy contamination detected.
Destroying the production of Argent energy isn't necessary.
Yeah, well, I say it is, big man. Vega. Vega is an acronym. Though the exact meaning has not been revealed by Hayden or the UAC, once named, it was decided that the AI would need to be given a personality to make interactions more agreeable. A gender was assigned, male. A virtual age was estimated, around 50 years old, and a speech pattern implemented. As such, speaking to Vega is a calming and pleasant affair. A blind study was conducted with the computer science students to see if Vega would pass the Turing test. The students were instructed to ask a series of questions to both Vega via SatLink and a mathematics professor from MIT to see if they could tell which was the computer. 92% of students thought they were both human. Only 8% detected that Vega was a computer. Vega also played the professor. There's an imp glitching through me. Oh, heck. I just realized, did I miss the thing at the Argent Cache in the Foundry level? Crap, I think I did. Ugh, that was so embarrassing. I don't know why my performance in that level was so terrible.
You must stop. The hell energy is unusable without the filters.
Warning.
What
Energy
you are
contamination
destroying
detected.
is more valuable than you can possibly imagine. It is a perfect and unlimited energy resource.
I think this is the first time I've ever beat that challenge in one go. Good for me, I guess. And there's a neat little secret here. You can find the super shotgun early. While this weapon has been removed from the UAC's approved weapon arsenal, many veteran operators insist that there is no better alternative to close combat. It offers incomparable destructive power at extremely close range, but is completely ineffective at long range. The weapon is light and small, making it a favored secondary weapon that no self-respecting combat specialist would be seen without.
Demonic breach detected. Demonic presence of critical levels.
I'm fast as heck, boy. Fast as heck. Sorry, I'm brain farting for a sec.
Warning. Energy contamination at critical levels.
Tablets retrieved from the Great Steppe in the UAC automated survey of 2143 suggest that the Hell Knights originally flanked the Great Serpent during the First Age. After the Master was defeated by the Guardian, the Hell Knights were placed in the arenas of Hell, where they would feed on any victims thrown to them by the demon overlords as sport. It is now believed that they guard the most sacred and important relics of the Netherworld. Haste. This spear invigorates the Invida with lightning speed. Once broken, the spear releases a charged cloud of Soulbreaker energy, which forms a powerful, albeit brief, exoskeleton that charges and accelerates all natural movement. While the effects are brief, the speed that a hastened subject can reach is breathtaking. The heart rate also increases dramatically, ultimately resulting in myocardial rupture. The heart quite literally explodes.
Demonic breach detected.
I love how you can just ruin enemies' badass intros in this game. The Summoner, a cunning adversary, is primarily a defensive summoning unit. As the demon horde swarms the enemy, the summoner sustains the battle by opening a rift to hell and calling forth reinforcements to prevent being overrun by the relentless horde. The summoner should become a primary target in any battle strategy. When directly challenged in combat, the summoner is capable of channeling hell energy into an Argent wave. Although this wave kills most humans, an occasional victim will be transformed into the possessed. Surviving an Argent wave attack is extremely unlikely, but does not appear to be random. There is evidence that the summoner selects the most resilient of combatants for induction to the army of hell. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. And I'm back.
We spent decades perfecting the science, selling it to humanity. We balanced their hell energy with our science, making it usable and safe. We solved an energy crisis the world had no answer for. It works. You cannot do this.
The surface of Mars is an inhospitable environment, despite the breathable atmosphere created by the N2O2 pumping stations, sandstorms regularly make working outside impractical, and constant maintenance is necessary to keep the facility fully operational. During adverse weather conditions, exterior work is limited to essential activities such as Argent Tower feed control, interdepartmental transport, cargo handling, emergency access, and Level 2 hazard events, such as Argent meltdowns or bioepidemics. Untethered cross-dimensional activity is a frequent occurrence outside of the base, so buddying up is advised for all workers when journeying onto the surface.
Remember, the 12 Council of Nine is always watching you.
If stopping our energy production is what you want, then you need only to destroy this last filter, and Argent energy will no longer exist in this solar system. We will be back at square one. You have no idea what you have just done.
Olivia is still alive. I've detected her life signature at the Argent Tower. She has removed one of the accumulators from the tower base. It has a unique energy signature that we can track.
Well, that's it then. There's nothing else to be done.
Alright. I think that's what I'm gonna call it for stream now. I'm going to stream on Twitch and then upload the VOD to both my Twitch channel and my YouTube channel. Along with that, I'm going to separate the stream into smaller Let's Play videos. So it'll be like more digestible and I can produce more content. So yeah. See you guys later.